shoot. Can you guys see me okay? I hope so. I'm here because I finished another book. I did start reading Joe Hill's Horns, and it's an adult fiction, and I have to say that opened up really intriguing. I really enjoyed it. But when I got to the second section, which is called Cherry, it went back to the main character's preteen or teen years when he was 15 years old, and it kind of reminded me of oh God, I can't think of the darn movie now. It basically just, there was nothing exciting that happened, and it kind of just went on following his daily life when he met this girl, and you know what they did together, and just basically their life together. And it just kind of slowed down for me, so I gave up on it. And the reason I gave up on it was also too because there's so many other books out there, and I know a lot of people don't give up on books, but I did, and I do, because like I said, there's just too many other books out there to be read. So, not saying that that book is a bad book. It has gotten rave reviews. I know it's a good book, but I just didn't have the patience to sit there through it. I wanted something more engaging, so I moved on, and I read Scored by Lauren McLaughlin, and this is a YA dystopian book. This one has about 240 pages in it, and I finished it in one night. I actually started it probably about 10 o'clock last night, and I finished it about 3:30 in the morning. I did take a break, probably about an hour break between there, so it definitely kept my attention. It flowed, and I like that when books just flow and you can just keep going, if that makes any sort of sense. I'm going to go ahead and read the inside. I read the inside when I did my book haul, but for those of you that didn't see that. Forget your family, forget your friends. You are your score. Score above 90 and you're set for life. A full college scholarship, the career of your dreams. Score below 75 and you've got a tough life ahead of you, kid. Amani Lamond has worked hard, and 1 month away from high school graduation, she's a 92. Unfortunately, her best friend Caddy is a 71 and falling fast. And now Diego McLoone, brilliant, iconoclastic, and unscored. Oh, and I put non-scored in my review. Unscored. Wants Amani for a study partner. The score positive choice is clear. Think of your future. Stick with your score gang. Ditch these losers. But something about being scored isn't feeling quite right to Amani anymore. ScoreCorps, the giant software company whose intelligent, ever-present cameras watch everybody's every move, says the score is meant to create upward mobility. But who benefits in ScoreCorps' brave new world? Is any future worth dumping your best friend for? Amani will have to decide fast, because once the final score is in, there's no looking back. The idea of this book, I loved. I loved it. It's set in the future, of course, and you have these cameras. Excuse me, I feel something in my eye. You have these cameras, literally, they're like hanging down like just these big orbs, like these big balls. And they're on the streets, and they're in the schools, and they're all over the place. And they basically just follow the teenagers. And the teenagers have to score. They have to get, like it said in there, at least a 90 or above a 90 to get a scholarship to a college, a state college, university. And if you don't score enough to get a scholarship, you still need to have a decent score to get a decent job, because future employers look at that stuff. So that is very important. But this is a voluntary program, so not all the students get scored. The parents had to sign a permission slip. So there are some in there that are non-scored, or what did they say, unscored, and go CC. And those, if you're getting scored, you want nothing to do with the unscored, nothing, because that will make your score drop. And that's one of the things about this. There are 5 different things that affect your score, and one of them is who you hang out with. And like it said, Amani's best friend, her score keeps going down, and if Amani keeps getting caught hanging out with her, Amani's score is going to drop. So that kind of sucks. And your score changes every month. So you really can't get close to anybody, because if you do in that month and then their score or your score changes and you guys aren't in the same, they call it gang anymore, then you're really not supposed to communicate with each other. And that's really hard to do. So basically, you just need to look out for yourself, and that's it. Well, what happens is there is a paper that they need to do in one of their classes, and it is about the scored have to basically explain why that is a bad idea, being scored, and the unscored need to say why this whole being scored thing is a great thing. So they have to kind of go against what they are. And there's an unscored kid in one of them in this class Amani's taking, and he wants to actually team up with her on a paper. Well, of course, if Amani gets caught with him, her score is gonna plummet so fast. So she really doesn't want to, but yet she's very intrigued. So she comes up with a plan, an idea, and so she can kind of do this, but she has another agenda. Things don't go the way she plans, though, and I liked how this book took Amani, and then they took, oh my god, my mind just totally, Diego, he's the unscored kid, and they took him and used his points of view, and I liked that. I liked reading on both ends of this. I also loved how the author talked about our world now, because obviously this is in the future, so our world now is in the past, and how it came to this, where teenagers are scored. Like, what happened to our world for this to come? And I liked that. I really liked reading about that stuff. I thought the characters were well written. The one thing I didn't care for in this book is that most of the book is basically about Amani trying to sneak around or do this paper with Diego. And a big chunk of the book is that. But when you get to the end, there's another twist, if you will, another turn. And I don't feel like there was enough build up to that. And then the book ends, and all you get is just like a last paragraph basically stating what happened with the paper. I felt like the ending fell flat. I felt like the book wasn't finished right. Other than that, this book was very good. It was a great dystopian book, and it was, yeah. I would definitely recommend reading it. If this author comes out with the next book, if this is going to be a series, I think that would be great. I'm very interested to know what happens. If this scorecore, if it takes off, or if, because there's people that are fighting it, and to know if they win or actually what happens. So I definitely would recommend reading the book. Scored by Lauren McLaughlin. Not sure what book I'm going to read next. I'm either going to read A Plague Year or I'm going to read one of my books. Not sure. So, alright, I will talk to you folks later. Hopefully you guys had a fun and safe holiday. See ya.